terms of the genesis of the project, I'm a writer by trade, and I have a feature in development with the production company, a spy feature. And I told my reps, hey, I've been writing TV the last couple of years, but I'd love to throw my hat in the ring as a director. That's what I went to school for initially. And they said, great, none of your stuff matches what you've written is for your feature, so you need to make a spy short. And so I got in touch with Ryan, who is a longtime friend, director, producer, and said, can you help me make something that's not quite a proof of concept, but just a directing sample for me that shows that I can do action and intrigue and all that stuff. So that's the practical reason for doing the project. Creatively, I've always been interested in the world of spycraft because my dad used to work as an independent contractor for the government and worked with the CIA and the NSA and all kinds of stuff. Still don't know what he did, but that piqued my imagination in high school. And then I bagged groceries at a grocery store in Florida, and there was this mean old man that was another bagger, and everybody kind of stayed out of his way, and nobody knew his story. But he didn't really stick out because it's Florida, and we call it God's waiting room because a lot of people obviously retire there. And then one day I go to work, and there's a bunch of FBI cruisers in the parking lot. And they're arresting this guy because he had been a Russian spy for 30 years. And so it really piqued my imagination. I've always wanted to do something about an every man or an every woman stumbling into a spy ring.
Wow. Going back to the whole Florida man thing that we always deal with. Okay. So, and you actually just circumvented my last question, which was, how did you find this guy to boss you around on set and go, you can't do that, Mike, we can't afford it. All right. So, but I do want you guys to talk about the dynamic of how you guys work together, because sometimes the producer is your cheerleader as a director and is going, go do that, and sometimes they're the ones going, seriously, we can't do that, Mike. We have to figure out another way. So talk about how the two of you work together to make everything.
Start.
Tell me why you like me, Mike.
Let me step out of the room.
Well, we met in grad school. We both went to the University of Central Florida in Orlando. And so we're both born and raised Floridians. I think that has something to do with it. But also, I think, we've become friends over the years. I've produced a couple projects for him. We have a web series coming out called Karate Tortoise that we did together, and which is a very different sort of piece. But I think really it's a matter of trust. I think it's I think if there's a situation where we come up against obstacles, which happens all the time when you're trying to make a movie, it's just the ability to have a conversation about that and to sort of understand that we're both here with the same agenda, the same objective, right? We're going to try to make this movie as good and as cheaply as we possibly can, right? And yeah, it's just a question of, it's a balance. Like, where do you sacrifice? Where do you make the little cuts? And where do you put the money that's going to show up on screen, right? And so I hope he trusts me. That's the impression I get. Yeah, I think it's just really about being on the same page, right? And knowing that I have his back and he has my back in a reverse situation.
I contradict every single thing I said.
So never work with this man. I think for me it starts as we're good friends. We've been friends for almost 20 years. Yeah. And I respect Ryan as a creative tremendously. And so it behooves me to have him involved because he's going to make my project better. And he always has, everything that we've done together. And so that's one layer of it. And then the other layer is we live in an ocean of creatives, and why wouldn't you want to make something with your friends? So we hired a lot of people we'd never worked with before. But it's really nice to have somebody that you trust completely. And a shorthand with, exactly. While making Shortwave, shorthands with Shortwave, but and just being able to be wait a minute, are we going to make this day? Are we, and then afterward having Ryan, every cut of this I sent to Ryan for notes, and he gave me one very important note that completely changed the movie and made it way better. So anyway, that's my side of it.
All right, I'll take it. What was that note, Mike?
So he had the movie, as you've pointed out, starts in one space, in sort of a familiar space, and then winds up in a very different world. And towing that line is challenging. And so Ryan had a note about starting the movie with her in the car. It's basically from the scene at the very end of the movie, after all the adventure has happened and her life has changed completely. And he said, you should just show us a glimpse of that, because it's a short, we only have so much time. That will prime people for knowing, oh, wait, no, this isn't a movie about a call center or whatever mundane job. This is going somewhere. And I thought that was really brilliant.
Very cool. That is a good producer and a good friend. Again, the project is Shortwave, screening at Dances with Films LA. Guys, congratulations on this one.
Thanks so
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.